Hey guys. Okay, so I'm gonna still go live because at this point I feel like I have jumped timelines. I don't even think I don't even think I'm part of this timeline anymore. It's such a 3D like dense. I don't even want to reside down there. So I'm up here in the ethers, but that's where time and space just doesn't even exist. So, yes, the conversation with James Ellis will go on tomorrow at noon. It is tomorrow at noon. That's a Tuesday. Thought it was Tuesday today. Sorry. Sorry about that, guys. So, I do want to run some tarot, but I do want to go over kind of what I've been doing at this point. Hey, Michelle. I want to go over what I've been doing up until now. So, as far as credit stuff and any reporting to this credit company, remember it's a credit company. It's not a bureau, okay? It's not anything governmental. It's a company. That's it. So at this point, you have to put them on notice. And doing so is you have to write a cover letter. Start with your cover letter, explaining to them that what they're doing is fraudulent. You can also go on CFPB and get information that way. But um, make sure that when you document all this kind of stuff that hey Dottie, make sure that when you document it, you have a ledger, because over time you're going to have to make sure that you're keeping all of your notes, okay? Because if you don't, you're going to get behind on yourself. And that's not good too, because when you do a complaint with CFPB, it's going to give you a complaint number. So when you're tallying these things up, write what it was for. So one of mine was Ford Motor Credit, because when I bought my Mustang back in 2014, I thought that I had to go to financing, when actually I didn't have to go to financing, because you guys know, whenever you go into a dealership and you talk to the salesman, you pick out your vehicle, and then you go into like their office or whatever and you start the paperwork, right? You're starting the paperwork, you've put your name, you've put your social right there, that's fraudulent, and you filled all your stuff out. Well, at that point, they told you, okay, wait right here, and we'll be back. We're gonna see if your credit will allow this. There's a UCC code that says that nobody can deny you credit. So at this point, it's not that they're not denying you, but they're gonna have a really high interest or a high principal or anything like that off the backside. When in reality, when you went into that dealership, once they left you with all of your information, because now you just gave me access. If I was the dealership, you just gave me access to your social security card, which is actually a credit card. It's full of credits, has bonds on it. Anytime that you were on a docket, a court docket or anything like that, bond. Okay, so when you went into the dealership, your car was already paid off as soon as it went into some sort of a process, right? So the dealership already got their money. But now you went over here and you were like, oh, well, I'm going to, here's my financing charge. Here's what I'm allotted. Here's what, hey, Karen, here's what, what I'm allowed to pay, right? You didn't actually have to do that, because when you're working on this side, the private side, where any of your funds for your house, mortgages are illegal, car payments are illegal, okay? I want you guys to put that through your head, because when I first started to come across this information, I kept saying, how? But how? Well, there's a USC code for that. So if you go on to Cornell University Law and you look up these codes, in the top bar, it's going to ask, I think it's a law section. It's like codes and UCC codes and all that kind of stuff. Do the drop down. Look some of these up. Okay, you're going to come across all kinds of like sections, right? Some of them will be criminal, some of them will be consumers, some of them will be whatever, right? Whatever you're dealing with. These codes are set in place for you, okay? So when you go down to the car dealership, I wouldn't recommend doing it this way, because you're mixing like public and private together. there, I think that you can actually do it because there was a girl that I follow that showed, proof that she did it on the public side. You can also do it on the private side with like 1099As, or there's other ways to do that. But if you go down to a car dealership and you give them all of your information and then they leave with it, that dealership already got paid. Okay. If you already have that car note, right? Let's fast forward. You already did it. You didn't realize, like, damn, now I'm in this payment, scheduled payment with this fraudulent financial company. Now I'm in. A couple of things are going to happen. Either one, it's going to kick it out and you're just going to have to eat that because you signed into that contract, like little clauses and stuff like that. Or number two, you're going to sit there and go, okay, let me get all of my bills and all of my documents off of or off of automatic draft, right? Get them off because you actually want the paper copy. You want that paper copy because that's how you're going to endorse it. On the back, it's like a check. You're endorsing it to now send it back. You have to send it to the CFO. Don't send it to the peasants. Don't send it to the locals, okay? We don't know this kind of stuff. We are the locals. We're the peasants, okay? You got to send it over the heads because the people that are over the heads are living in the private. They know how to do this, right? So when you're doing anything private versus public and that kind of stuff, the people that are operating this matrix of a machine, if you will, are all living in the public, okay? The other side of that is private. So that's going to be where any big purchases that you're doing, any big car notes or mortgages or whatever you're buying, it's easier to do it on the private side. Now let's move all of that, go here. Now you already have your car note, right? Get it in a paper copy, send it back. You can also send a cover letter that says, hey, this is a deceptive form. There is a UCC code for that. This is a deceptive form. I would like to retract all of rescind. I want to rescind the contract. Send it all out. Spell it out. I at this point, I want my whole statement, not just the months, but the whole statement. Okay, and that's something that I learned from James Ellis, and I'll have him on tomorrow. Yes, I know. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I get my days confused. Nobody said anything. You guys go up underneath it and be like, Lee, what day do you think it is? Tell me what day you think it is. But yes, you can rescind any of those contracts. And I don't want to say any because that loops underneath all, but most, okay? And we're going to be talking about that tomorrow, how to, when you get that bill, now you've got it off automatic draft. Now you get that bill, what do we do with it, right? And it may end up being a 3-part series. If you did not catch the first one, go to my videos and it's actually it's pinned. So if you want to see that, it's at the top of my page on Facebook. But all of these codes are set in place for us. Let me give you some gold here. It's Tamara T. Bush. She's on YouTube. I learned a lot from her. I learned a lot from her. She goes over codes. She goes over share screen, all that kind of stuff. Now, James likes to talk about when you send that in, and I do agree with him because everything's going to happen in threes. When you send something in, they may kick it out, right? And now you're going, wait, I already sent that because that just happened to me. I sent information to the 3 companies, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. I sent them in, and what they were wanting from me, because what I was doing, you guys saw my score go up. What I was doing was I was verifying myself. So anything on that, on my app, anything on my account that is not my name now, right? Not a past marriage name, not whatever, any names that are current. Also do that with your address. Now I had to verify that. How do I verify that? I send in my driver's license, a copy of my driver's license, and then I send in a utility bill. And I did that. And I showed it on Snapchat too. And they rebutted to me saying that I didn't do that. So expect that, okay? Expect that kind of stuff to happen because they want you to work for it. So that's fine. So then the next bill, month 2, now it's coming to you. You do all the things. Now you're structuring, your cover letter a little differently. Okay, we're gonna say this. I already sent this in once. Da 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 da. Here it is again. You're putting a little bit of pressure. Okay. Now say something happens with that. Fine. I'll send the third note, because my third note is going to be, you need to make this right. You need to fix this. Balance my books, make this right, do whatever you need to do to make this right. And then you can also ask for, because in my last letter, I'm asking for a $10,000 damage. Like, I'm having to do all this stuff. I'm having to mail all this stuff to you. You guys are losing my stuff, so I'm asking for $10,000 in damages. Now, to us peasants, you would think that that's a lot of money, but in the big scheme of things, no, it's like $5. It's not. Okay, so when you're doing that, you're putting, now you're in your third phase. You're gonna have to like put a little bit more pressure. They have to make it right. Hey Jerry. And it may take you a couple times, because again, if you send it to the wrong place and say it gets in Tammy's hands, Tammy may not know what to do with it, right? So maybe she throws it away. She doesn't know what the laws are. She just knows this information came and all you got to do is pay your bill, and she don't know what the hell this is, right? Maybe she just tosses it to the side. You may have to send it again, because again, as peasants, we were not taught it this way. So now it's just reformatting it, which is also, you're going to have to go over the heads of the peasants. Okay, we weren't taught this. We're the peasants. But James and I will go over that tomorrow. Ooh, actually, let me show you my notes. Maybe he said something about doing a 3-part series and going over just communication and that kind of thing. Opportunity to cure, because once you keep sending these in, now you're going to have documentation. It's also a paper trail. Okay, you're having documentation saying that I'm sending these in. Now, if I can say anything to you, don't stop paying your bills. Okay, don't stop paying your bills until this clicks. When this clicks, and then now you can pay with your credits, okay, from your trust, your Social Security. Hey, who's that? Oh, hey, Cass. Now you can pay your bills and that kind of stuff through this Sestic Trust. Now, that system will click. And if anything, I wonder, this is just a thought that I've been having, because most people like that are on the private side, it's private for a reason, but I don't think that they would keep, so say you're solely in the private, I don't feel like they would keep you in the public computer. Because if I was Tammy and I was there and I'm like, well, who's this person? Well, why don't they ever pay their bills? Or why do they have this outstanding or whatever? It's going to question me, and I don't think they don't want us to know this kind of stuff. They don't want us to question this kind of stuff. So I wonder if like once you get into a private side, if you would be kind of in a different little category kind of thing, but it's not spoken about, like that kind of, I don't know, just my thought. But James and I will go over that tomorrow at noon. And then just break down the steps that, you have to kind of go by. And I think a lot of us are doing this right now kind of as guinea pigs, like, ooh, we just came across this great information. Now let's go to the laws, because we have to abide by those, right? Let's abide by those. Let's be a good, a good person, a good human being, God-given human being. And let's just learn this structure. Let's learn how to do this a little differently. I just, it's exciting to me, I guess. And I think that's why I came out of the gates with it, because I was like, this is exciting. Like, think about how many people this is going to cure a lot of like debt for them, or this is going to, maybe give them a different lifestyle. Because when I was talking to James this morning, I had said something about like, once we, a lot of us, because all of us will not go over there. Not everybody's going to go where some of us are going. Okay, that's just it. It's just, they're not. A lot of people are going to fall behind, and that's fine. The people that are here, it's almost like now we have this knowledge. Now we have this new understanding, this new awareness to ourselves. So now what are we going to do with it? And then I told James, I said, it's almost like I want to go to like Atlanta and tell the homeless, like, hey, like all is good now. Like let me try to set you up with this, or even I think my dream would be so great if I could buy like a huge plot of land and do tiny houses, and either set it up for like a retirement, like the papas and the grandmas, or do it for like homeless, and then always keep like somebody on staff, and make sure that maybe there's medical on staff. You don't know the person's background or anything like that, and just to give them a place to feel safe, just to it makes my heart happy, just to give people a time to maybe contribute. Maybe they want to, maybe that is their dream, but they're like, how do I get out of this? How do I get out of this situation? How am I supposed to blossom if I'm here? And we do seem to get into those kind of struggles from time to time, but what do you do with it? How do you stay alive, knowing that all your bills are basically, I don't even want to say basically, they are paid. All bills are paid. All bills are prepaid. That is the Bill of Exchange Act. When I tell people that, they look at me like I'm crazy. I don't care anymore. Go read it for yourself. I'm just telling you what I've read, what I've learned, what I've seeked, and I found, and I knocked. I'm a why girl. Sorry, I want to know. Shit don't make sense. I want to know why. Because either I can fix it or I need to leave it. King of Wands. I just did a reading the other day, and I swear to God, King of Wands kept all of it upside down. So you have a very forceful, bully, dictator, tyrant person in your life, or it could just be the structure that you're realizing that the government is really, they're very, very bully, narcissistic, very red flag, where it's almost like that certain things are illegal, or that like certain things are wrong, but the government just kind of turns a blind eye to it. Well, then you have to ask, like, if they turn a blind eye to it, then are they participating or are they enabling? Like why are they able to have so many homeless people just on the streets? Like, why does the government not step in? Because the police step in when there's a car on the side of the road, but nobody steps in when there's a human on the side of the road. That fucks me up. Even just the thought of that. It's like, so you're doing your service as police and enforcing and serving, that's your duty. But then you have humans on the side of the road that are hungry and cold, or just in icky conditions. It makes me want to cry. And that could be just your realization of the system. It's a shit system. But on the flip side, it's because we don't know how to play the system. And it's not even that we're playing it deceptively, or playing it as in like being sneaky snake, because that's not what it is at all. You're playing chess now. You understand how to move through the system. You understand how to the verbiage that is needed to be in this system. Okay. Because once you realize it, it's like, okay, now you have legalese. Now you have all these, like, you need to learn these definitions, and like how are you going to format a cover letter to somebody that wants you to like sound, and I speak for me, wants to sound like you're smart, and I'm like, damn, I don't know where the commas go. I don't know how to even format this. When I wrote the IRS, I just wrote it as I would, because if anything, it's going to another another human. But let me back up. When you write in, this is a little trick that I learned. When you write in, they say to handwrite it, and I get it now. It makes sense. When you handwrite it, it's not going to go through the system, because it's not going to go through AI. AI only recognizes typed text words, right? If you handwrite it, especially cursive, a human's going to have to get it. So they're going to like kick it out of the little AI system, and it's going to go over to Tammy. So I'm like, okay, yeah, we handwrite all of it, because I don't want all my stuff to go through. I mean, you can add in codes and that kind of stuff, and like your backing or whatever, but I would much rather have Tammy get my documentation. Just have to learn how to move within a new consciousness. And that's going to be learning and then unlearning. And that's what we just did. We just learned a bunch of crap. And then now we're realizing that it's lies, and we're realizing that it's manipulation and very narcissistic kind of system, because we bow to it. You know, I mean, I don't want to say we don't idolize, because I'm sure that there people are, but because people idolize the television, you know, Fox News, all the things. They idolize that as if, like, oh, well, the media is going to tell me how to live my life, or the media is going to set my tone for the day. You know, when you watch the news, a lot of it's very negative. Well, that's going to infiltrate your soul, your vessel, and then you're gonna. Is that what you want to walk out the door with? You know, like it's where you're realizing that this system is very narcissistic, but you don't want anything to do with it anymore. You understand that it pulls down your frequency, you know, and then half the time you're watching it and you're realizing, like, well, shit, Soros dropped those bricks there and then hired people to come and tyrant this, you know, whole, you know, and then you're realizing, well, it's made up, like it's intended, it's I don't know, you just realize it, and you can just see it all the way around you. It's just a structured, I don't know. But your next card, not a good card. So again, maybe that it is forward movement, but it's also in the reverse, which means it's at a standstill. So maybe you're realizing that a lot of these things that you're learning, you're going, wait a minute, you're in this fog, which is fine. Get out of your fog, okay? What is true? What is real? What is real to you? Okay? Were you there? Did you witness it? Did you experience it? Was there a reality within that? Don't put it off on something else. Don't put it off on the news. Don't put it off on, you know, the government or anything like that, because you have to also realize that these people are placed, these characters that are put in place for a reason, to manipulate you. So if we're watching a movie, you know, and they're all playing a part, or they're all playing, you know, they have masks, they have clones. The clones started back in the 30s. Don't let that go over your head. That's crazy. But look how they've kept it from us. So that's a manipulation. That's a deceit, right? What is deceitful? Satan, hate, greed, anything low dimensional. If it's low dimensional, it's gonna conjure a lower frequency. Okay, whatever it's conjuring, whether it be Jezebel, Leviathan, whatever's down, Lucifer, whoever, Hecate. I like her. I like Hecate, but she is from the underworlds. You know, it's kind of a cool cat. It's Lucifer's mom. Yeah. But Hecate will walk you through your shit. You have to do the shadow work. You have to be able to walk through your own shit. And when you do, and you can see that everything around you is either manipulated or whatever. Go through your own shadow work, if you will, your own closet, and like look at everything in your closet. What is real politically? What is real? What is fake? Have you noticed that even it's coming out with Biden isn't even at the White House? Well, we've seen proof of that. So at that point, when does that cognitive dissonance get clear? When does something that is so in your face, like Michelle Obama being a man, I lost a lot of friends from that. Sorry. She's got a dick, okay? That's all right there. But people were so upset because they put her on a pedestal. She's the first black, first woman. I don't know how to say that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and I get that. That's great. And I would love that too. But she's not being for real in who she is. And now you're putting this fake person who is of illusion, because it's deception. I wouldn't have cared if she would have came out and been like, hey, I'm transsexual, you know, I got this and one of those, you know, like I would have been okay with that. But the fact that their whole method was of deceit, of lies, you know, and that's where I have a problem, because then I'm wondering, well, why would you feel like you needed to lie to me? What are you trying to create? What's going on behind my back that is so powerful that you felt like you needed to deceive me, you know? And that's coming from a president. They should be the most transparent, you know? But when you're coming to a halt like that and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, all these things are starting to pop into my head that are our reality. You have to go to the next step. Why? Why did they feel like they needed to do that? Is there an underlying story? Why would you feel like you needed to lie to the American people that you're actually a man, that you went through the process? What's the lie? Did you not think that we would accept you? You know, that kind of thing. I don't know. All of this stuff is heart-wrenching because you want to put them on a pedestal, or you want to think good of them, or you want to think that maybe they wouldn't, you know, betray you like that. But then on the flip side, you have to also understand that that's part of the narrative. That's part of what they're doing behind our backs. So while we're over here slaving to their system, because remember, there's a private side and then there's the public side. We're in the public. So me as a, I mean, citizen, no. Citizen makes me irk now because that literally means slave. But how am I participating, or how am I showing up in the world? Is it private side or public side? Well, it's more public side right now until I do my thing. But what am I doing over here? So I'm working 2, 3, 4 jobs to do what? For this amount of gas? For this amount. So how is this actually helping me? You know, that transition of knowledge to ooh, wow, I've been lied to. I need to reassess this. Ooh, didn't think it was going to be that, but here we are, and let me forgive myself for thinking that I should put somebody on a pedestal like that, or let me forgive the government for doing this to us, because if anything, you got to figure when it started way back with the Rockefellers, how many generations just went like this? Oh, us too. Let's be slaves too. You know, this is the generation of the people that woke up that are like, I'm not doing this with you anymore. Not doing this. Why? Because at this point, it's insanity if I know all of this and I still continue to like play in your muck. No, thank you. I know the truth now. So that's going to be this upside down. You're stopping whatever generational curses. You're stopping that. You're not allowing that into your field anymore. You know what comes with these people. You know what comes with participating on the public side, right? It's almost like you're going, okay, I can either take the red pill or the blue pill, because I do know about the red pill, but I don't want to be asleep anymore. You know, like if I sleep and I act like I'm ignorant and I don't know these and I just go along with the system, is that insanity? I feel like that's insanity when I know better. So if you know better, then it's like you start to call on your guides, you start to call on your angels, you start to call, just call all this stuff in, even down to information. Ask your guides. Give me information. Make my head clear. Clear my thoughts. Let me understand who I am. Am I chosen? Show me that I'm chosen. Show me 3 crows. I do it all the time. I test the universe. I play with the universe because I know how to manipulate it. I know what I can push out, and I know what I'll get back. Same as karma. If you continue to shit on people, you will get that back. And then they act like victims. Then they're like, oh, well, karma, my guy. I mean, you played that card. I'm going to get my lid back. So at this point, it's like with the Sesticate Trust or with anything, when we were born, our birth certificates, it's almost like we're considered minors, right? Now we're minors. So now, I'll be 50 in October, so I'm just now becoming an adult in the government's eye. Nice. So either people have, I do remember people talking about like the public side, private side, and that kind of stuff, but I just felt like a peasant. I felt like, well, I'm always just going to be Jack down at the bottom of the Titanic. That's where I'm at. Rows don't go. But now this kind of thing can actually be accessible. So any information that I do give you, I encourage you to look it up and call me out. If I'm wrong, call me out. But I encourage you to look it up. You're going to find that I was going to say that I'm right, but I do make mistakes. You know, if there is another portion that has to go with this cover letter, let me know, because then if it helps me, because I probably already sent 2 out and I didn't know that. So it's just a community coming back together. We've all been lied to. We've all been lied to. Okay. Our government, our churches, our families, and look, back up there, because a lot of this is, it's just, some people are not going to wake up. Okay, some people are going to be in the matrix, and that's fine. Let them be there. But on the flip side, if you are awake and that kind of stuff, it's not your job or it's not your duty to wake other people up. And I felt like I got stuck in that a lot, because I felt like it was my job to help other people heal. Okay, because I've already been through a lot of shit. So I want to like express like, hey, I've already been there. Like, this is what I took to get out of that. Da, 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 da. But now I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what? If God wants me to talk to them, or if God wants me to intercede or whatever in their life, then show me that. 3 deer, side of the road, you know? And, but you're creating that communication with your guides. You're creating that communication with your ancestors. And I follow a girl on TikTok. I love her. She makes me laugh. But there are people that say like, "Oh, I don't invoke spirits, or I don't mess with spirits. Only the Holy Spirit." And I'm like, you mess with spirits every day when you interface with another human. Every day, you're interfacing with either a good spirit, you know, a very helpful, kind, right? If you interface with me, you're going to get one of 2 things. You're going to get either very kind, loving, helpful, you know, whatever, or you're going to get hateful, get the hell out of my face, probably cuss you out, you know. But that's the same aspects of everybody that you're interfacing with. It's spirits. Don't say you don't mess with spirits, because you do every day. You know, and again, that's getting out of the cognitive dissonance. Stop yourself. Ask yourself, do I invoke spirits? Because you can invoke the Holy Spirit. You can invoke a demonic spirit when somebody pisses you off and you're not now plotting. Tell me who you invoked. You know, like, because you were fine. Your human body was just fine. You were sitting in the Starbucks drive-through and you were fine until you read that message, and then all of a sudden, here comes your like, how dare you? You know, like, okay, I got your ticket. I got your ticket. You know, that's spirit. Or say that you know, a little grandma comes in. I'm referencing the salon now, but a little grandma comes in, and I had to wash her hair. When she was done, I said, all right, beautiful, you can go over to Miss Karen's chair, or whatever I said. And she stopped and she goes, you called me beautiful. And I was like, yeah, you are. Like, was it wrong? Now I'm like, oh shit. Am I in trouble? Like, you know, but then I overheard her even say to Karen, like, I haven't heard that. It makes my heart hurt. It makes me want to cry. I haven't heard that in so long. So that's a love residence. Okay, that's up here. You know, that's your spirit. What is life? I think life is exciting. I've always thought life is exciting, though, because it's honestly what you make it. You know, they talk about birds of a feather, and they talk about like, oh, well, whoever you're around. Well, yeah, look at your people. You know, but then if you kind of feel isolated right now, or you feel like God like has just isolated you from everybody, it's kind of annoying, but you're going to go with it. Then also understand like it's kind of good to be isolated. It gives you time to work on yourself. It gives you your time to write down all the things that you hate about you. And then you go back through and then go, okay, but is that true? Write down 5 things that you hate about yourself, and then ask yourself, are any of them true? If they are true, then you know where to start. But that's going to be dedication from you. That's going to be where you're going, okay, like, I really hate that I do this. Why do I do this? Oh, your mom does that too? Okay, well, you don't like that your mom does it, right? So become aware of that, and you don't do that anymore. Stop yourself mid whatever you don't like. You have to retrain. You have to stop all of the things that you've ever learned. Done. Lack of self-control. You have to learn to control yourself. Control your mind. Because if your mom does something, or even your grandmother, say your grandmother does it to your mom. Well, of course, then your mom's going to do that to you because that's what she does. Stop it. Don't do that shit no more. Because at this point, if you have kids, you don't want it to go down to your kids. Ooh, yeah, that one flew out. Stand your ground. It's kind of funny that flew out. It did to itself too. Yeah. 7 of Wands. Stand up for your beliefs. Fighting your corner. Protection. Defensive. Protective. Holding your own. Taking the high road. Look, I understand that we should always take the high road, but sometimes the low road is quite satisfying. When you get that lick back, it is quite exciting. You got to stand your ground. Hold your own. That's it. And holding your own also means holding your self-awareness. It almost also means holding your trust, holding what your inherent, I'm not gonna say this right, inherently, maybe, it's yours, okay? So when you realize that it's yours and you start to go after it is when, yeah, now you're taking back control of everything. Look at this little guy. See little ones? That's the government. There's maybe your parents. Maybe that's coworkers. Maybe that's old friends that you need to get rid of out of your life. You know, maybe this is your ex. Maybe it's your kids. So we'll do one more, and then I am done. I will let you guys go. I apologize for not doing this properly. I really thought it was Tuesday. I've been really time jumping a lot, even in the morning when I start to study. And then all of a sudden it's like 6 o'clock, and I'm like, how long was I sitting here? Looking at Cornell University. I'm like, I am like knees deep in this because it's so fascinating to me. And I think the reason why is because I have been taken to court so many times, and well, it's not baby daddy, but it's my oldest daughter's oldest daughter's dad. And he took me to court for defamation of character because I told everybody that he molested her, which he did. It was substantiated by everybody, and he got reprimanded for it, but he felt like he needed to take me to court, you know, probably to prove it. I don't fucking know. He lost. And he was trying to sue me for $1 million, which then on the other side, I'm kind of thinking, wait, if he sued me for $1 million, that put that on the docket, which means that $1 million is out there somewhere. I need that. But, oh shit, now I don't know where I was going with that. I did the little millions. I was talking about my ex. Oh, I've been to court so many times, and I feel like that alone has like I would love to be an attorney, but I don't know where commas go, so I feel like that could be a hindrance in a courtroom, but I love stuff like this. You know, like any court kind of proceedings or laws or anything like that, like I'm all over it. And now it's like, now I can actually be like my own attorney for myself. You know, now it's exciting to me because I'm like, and I don't even know how to spell. It's okay. You know, but you're taking back your own power. You're taking back your own identity. You're considered dead at sea. I don't want to be dead at sea anymore. You know, I feel like I have way too much energy to be dead at sea. So I'm taking back my name. I'm taking, you know, copyright it. Take back your rights. Your right. All bills are paid. Simmer there. All bills are prepaid. Simmer. Let's just which then sparked another little, wait, what? How? And then UCC, no such thing as a foreclosure. What? All right. All right. With doing this and getting, fighting back these people, there is going to be heartbreak. Releasing pain, you have 3 of Swords. Upside down. Okay? You're releasing, which is fine, because look, you can be releasing this, okay? No, wait. Yeah, you're releasing that because it's stuff that you're stuck on. You don't want to be stuck there, okay? Stuck with the cognitive dissonance of, is this true or is this not? Is Michelle Obama a man? Yes. Put it through your noggin, okay? A lot of these Hollywood people are not who you think they are, okay? They're opposite. A lot of the Victoria's Secret models, they're not females, okay? And they did that on purpose. They do that. If you notice even the celebrities that start to turn their kids into the opposite sex. Why? God didn't make that little boy a little boy for the celebrity to go, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're trying to play God. They're trying to do things that, no. Okay? So when you realize that and you come to like, ooh, wow, there is a lot of like backwards play, that's also Satan. That's the demon. That's low dimensional, because what are they going to do? They're going to manipulate it. They're going to paint it however they need to paint it. But then that's not really what it is. But here you are thinking that's what that is. It's not. It's deception. I feel like I said deception. It's deception. So, when you realize that, that's where your whole your mind just goes, whoa, wait a minute. Let me recap this. Let me look at all these things. And there may be some heartbreak, and that's fine. There's forgiveness in it too, because you didn't know any better, and that's fine. Okay, you didn't know. You were brought up this way. This is how your parents raised you. Was just indoctrinated. Now at this point, hey Donna, now at this point, you're like, okay, I get it now. Now let's forgive. Let's forgive the parties, and then also forgive myself, and then start to take back your life. Take back what is yours, your inheritance. Take that back. It's yours. I can show you how to access that. You would need a Treasury Direct account and a Fidelity account. Okay, once you get those 2 accounts, it's going to show you where your bonds are, all your things. Anything on a docket where you remarried, married, divorced, twice, for me, anything a docket, okay? Tickets, baptisms, anytime that your social security number was, anytime you gave it out, you bet your ass they got something out of it. Verizon, hell yeah, they got something out of it. Your Verizon bill is already paid. But we don't know how to do the endorse, get the paper, endorse it, send it back. Don't send it to the peasants. We send it to CFOs. We weren't taught that, which is great, because on that side, they're making bank. They already took whatever they allotted for my cell phone out. But now I went to financing, and this is what my payment is. And if I crunch it down just enough, then I can afford it, right? Is that right? Yeah. All bills are prepaid. Bills of Exchange Act. Federal Reserve Act. Look that up. Okay? I love you guys. Again. I will be live tomorrow at noon. Time jumping, time lapsing, doing all the things, I swear. Even yesterday, there's a retrograde. I don't know if we're still in it or if we've passed it by now. I think we have passed it, but I think we're right into the next one. But retrogrades will bring back like toxic people that like you really want out of your life, and then all of a sudden they pop back in and you're like, why? Where do you come from? It's funny because day 2 of the retrograde, my mom and my dad both text me. Same day, I was like, do they talk to each other? They don't talk to each other. I don't honestly think that. I don't know if they do or not, but they're divorced. So I don't know if they were like, you know what, today let's piss off Terry Lee and let's message her. So when I opened it, I was just like, oh my God, like, did they get in on this? No, it's retrograde. And then I had a guy friend of mine that I like cut off, like swiped left so many times, and he just keeps reappearing. He popped up too, same day. I was like, oh, this retrograde. So just brace for that, you know. And you're gonna have like a moment of, how do I respond? What do I do with this? You know, because if I respond to my mom, I know exactly what I'm gonna get. Some dumb shit, gaslighting, making me feel like absolute dog. Okay, so do we respond? No. If I respond to my dad, I know what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna respond to him, and he's not gonna respond to me. So it's almost like for him, I feel like it's a reach just to see, you know, because then after that, once you would think in a normal conversation that if he reached out, then I respond, and then like there's never this, okay? And it's always been like that in my life, and I feel like when I realized that, like that's really how he communicates. He just a little reach, and then you reach back out, and then he won't talk to you for 6 months or the next retrograde. But I love you guys. Have a good day.